Welcome to My Breastie Says, two friends exploring life during and after breast cancer from two totally different perspectives. I'm Chris, a breast cancer survivor and a mother of two.
I'm Jenni, a physical therapist and medical professional who specializes in breast cancer care. Together, we created this podcast to bring both sides of the story, the medical insight and the lived experience. Today's episode, we are talking about mastectomy. Now, this is a huge topic. It has a lot of impact on someone's life. So we today are going to focus specifically on the emotional toll it can take.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
It's huge, and I don't think it's recognized or given the respect that it deserves.
Well, I know that they say when you get into this whole world of breast cancer that your breasts are considered outside your body.
Oh, right. Okay.
Technically.
Yeah.
But there's still a piece of your body and you're losing that. The
Yes.
sense of loss is humongous
Yes.
for me.
Yes.
And for, everyone I've spoken to, it's a lot.
And what I think makes it even more challenging is the whole, is it a free boob job? So you're feeling the feels, but then the comments you're getting from friends, family, surgeons even, God forbid, but they're trying to maybe make you feel better, but really it's just minimizing this huge feeling you have. So we're here to say, first and foremost, those feelings are all very valid.
Extremely. That comment, a free boob job.
Oh my God.
It's so funny because that is something that I feel like you also want to tell yourself when you're going through it. I mean, I'm mom of two. At that time I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I breastfed, and I'm like, okay, so you're just like looking for any silver lining.
Yes. That's true. That's actually a really good point, right? Because there's so many ways to look at it. And then I guess it's just maybe, as my therapist reminds me constantly, like there are different parts of ourselves, right? So there's the part that's like, all right, I can spin this into something positive. And then the other part that's like, you know what? I just hate all of this. I don't want to spin it. I'm happy with my old boobs, or even if I wasn't, I just don't want to go through with this. And that's valid too.
Do your patients typically, is it something that they're spinning, or is it something, is there like a lot of grief that you witness around it?
Oh, gosh, that is a really good question. I think it runs the gamut. I typically, when I see women, it's pretty soon after they've had their mastectomy, and they still seem to be in shock, like just trying to put one foot in front of the other. I don't know how many are actively processing.
Yeah.
But there definitely is the moments of grief. Particularly, it's so interesting just like how touch can bring on emotion. So when I have my hands on someone's chest, trying to massage, and some like that can be a time for tears.
100%. Or in the locker room at the gym when you're changing, there's so many questions that go through your mind. The scarring, like what is that going to look like?
Right.
I mean, great, it's amazing what they can do now and how it's so minimal, but all these questions are like the fear and being intimate.
Oh my gosh,
with
that's the whole
someone
topic.
again, and what that is going to feel like and look like, and
right,
all those things,
and then having to hold space for. But I guess I'm grateful. There's that too.
But
I'm grateful the surgery exists. I'm grateful they can remove the tumor. But how did you deal with some of the emotional toll?
Well, for me, I couldn't. I was 37, and I remember my husband. I said, here, the night before the surgery. We took a camera, an old school like film camera, a Nikon. And I was like, I just need to do like a photo shoot. I'm never going to have these breasts again. And I want to remember, do I know what happened to those pictures? No.
I was going to ask if you ever remember those. 'Cause I hear about people doing that, and it's so beautiful. Or women who even go a step farther and have like a goodbye party for their breasts with some of their like closest friends, and just really honoring the fact that a loss is about to take place. But I actually was kind of curious, like I wonder if anyone actually looks at those photos later.
I think it's well, I don't know. I'm also the type, there's so many different people out there and how they want to process, and I am the type of person where I was diagnosed 10, 15 years ago. That's what I say. Like, I don't have a date.
Right.
I don't look
That's
at my
interesting,
cancer birth date.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll talk about it like I am now, starting a podcast with you to try to help people.
Right.
But like, I don't need a date to celebrate the date I was diagnosed. I just don't.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But, to each his own.
And actually, to the each his own part, I once had a patient who had to have her ovaries removed because it was part of her risk factors. She had never had children, and she had the doctor take a picture of the ovaries, like after they were removed from her body.
Oh, wow.
And then she would show people, like, these are my babies.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, okay,
everybody
great,
beats
whatever
their own
makes
drum.
it,
I mean, the only thing I can say, like, across the board is, like, let yourself give yourself the grace to not be strong, to feel the fear, the grief, and all those things that are natural. And it's okay to be scared.
And now I know for me, when I'm in a struggly, particularly you are a mom, so you have little kids, and like no matter if you have little kids at home, you have to show up for the people in your life. And as women, we really value that. So how do you show up for people and still grieve?
That's a good question. Right? You grieve in private,
yeah,
I guess.
We talked about how we're both shower criers.
I was going to say the shower crying. We lived in a different house at the time that had, this like carpeted, it was so weird, but it was like a larger closet and it was carpeted. And I remember just like going in there and just like getting it out. Your good friends. You have to let yourself get it out because it will fester inside, whether it's in the shower where, that's a very private
But that's
time.
I like that, like actually making time for it. If you, if you can, whether it's like 10, 15 minutes in the car, alone in the car can be a good spot. Or obviously we're big fans of going to see a therapist. Yes. So talking out in therapy or even journaling, I think can be a way to kind of access parts of yourself.
Definitely journaling. I did a lot of writing on that.
Were you always a writer or was this a new thing you started? Yeah.
Never. No, that's not so really. I only write when I need to have a clear mindset. My husband, who's always been a writer, he always suggested this thing that really always helped me. And he said, you make 3 columns on a page.
Okay.
The first column says feelings. The second column says facts. And the third column says options. And you kind of you just go through that because it slows your mind down enough to really feel and sort things out. Like, what are the options? Do I have options here? What are the facts? Am I saving my life by doing this? Right. How am I feeling about it?
Right.
Sorrow, loss, anger.
Oh, I love that.
All the things just to kind of get it on the page. And I'm preaching, but I should do that more. And I mean, there's some things right now I need to do that on.
Right.
But
that's true.
But not related to cancer. But yeah, I just feel like writing is really helpful because our brains can once again talk us, in and out of the craziness and on a whirlwind.
Right.
Looping.
So giving your mind a chance to slow down and also the okay, right now I'm making my list. I expect emotions to come through, this is the time I'm doing this.
Yes, this is it. I mean, I would do it in the mornings. Just for me, that was the saddest time for me because it was like you wake up and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have this operation in 2 weeks. I'm losing a part of my body I had for 37 years.
Right.
And it was a smack in the face of reality every morning that I woke up. So I would try to schedule that time then and coupled with meditation too. It took me a while to get there to do these things. So don't beat yourself up either. Like if you're not doing all the right things, because there is no right.
That's true. I love that you said that
thing. Yeah. So I don't know. I just like between the journaling, also, you find someone, a friend that you feel safe with. If it's not a husband or a family member or someone that you can kind of verbal vomit on, get it out.
Yes. Yep.
And there is a lot of fear of what it looks like after and all those things. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm sure a lot of women are.
But you don't know. That's the unknown is scary, and how it'll feel. Something I like to mention is if you trigger warning, but if you think about a mastectomy, we're removing part of the body that really is an amputation.
I know, it's huge.
And so I always like to tell the story. If we imagine there are two women, let's say Chris and Carol. So Chris will have a mastectomy, and Carol is going to have her foot removed. So you can imagine Chris is friends with the mastectomy. Her friends are saying all that it's not a free boob job.
Yeah.
Like trying to
make
her feel better, right?
Make light of it. Yeah.
Where Carol, on the other hand, everyone's like, oh my God, did you hear Carol has to lose her foot? Like that is, they are appropriately devastated for her. No one's seeing Carol being like, oh, I mean, at least you're getting a new foot. Like there's none of that. It's just Carol's allowed to feel upset. Her friends are allowed,
Everyone's allowed to grieve for her, with her, and she gets space to grieve. And people definitely make light of this free boob job situation.
And I appreciate the fact that it's trying to find the silver lining to your point earlier, but also maybe it's too much silver lining it.
Well, I think that's interesting you say that, because my husband is always super positive. And I remember at that time being like, I'm losing a part of my, and he understood that, but he was letting me lead and feel those things. And I just remember wanting him to grieve. Right. Like Carol. I wanted, I'm losing a fucking foot. My foot's going. You should I want you to cry and feel, I want to see you grieve for my foot.
Yes.
But he was just trying to do what I needed him to how he needed to be for me.
Interesting.
But I was like, this is it.
Because it's toxic positivity, right? Like we hear about that in breast cancer a ton. This overall, the woman who's diagnosed has to be the warrior, the hero.
Be strong.
Be strong.
If I heard that one more time.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that. Be strong. No.
Or actually, I had a friend, my friend Erin. She hated when people would tell her how strong she was, because she's like, I don't feel strong. I just feel like I have no option.
I know.
This isn't like me choosing to be a warrior goddess. I'm just.
People don't know. I will say on the other end of it, they just don't know how or what, how to support and what to say. I think they're at a loss.
Yeah, for sure.
They're at a loss.
Yeah. Yeah, they mean well. And going along with Carol and Chris, once years go by, so now Chris is living with her reconstructed breasts. She chose that. Carol's got her prosthetic foot. Carol's going to run a marathon, and everyone's just like, wow. That Carol.
Oh, good for Carol.
Yeah.
Whoa. What?
With one foot and everything. Meanwhile, no one's there saying, Chris, look at Chris is out in the dating scene. Or
look
Chris
at those tits.
Right. No one's.
She really went
through it. But I'm sure Chris, though, is having times where she's like, I hate these. I hate looking at dress, or I miss my old ones, or whatever.
Well, I'm lucky enough that I got them. My chest, I got the same size as my other chest, which wasn't that big. And so what my experience has been is that I feel like they are part of my body.
Oh, that's so great.
Like I don't notice them. But other women who I've talked to and helped through this, they've gotten bigger, or just different operations, different folks, different strokes, and they've been very bothered.
Yeah.
So you just don't know. And yes, those people who aren't as lucky as I, that feel them, or they get in the way when they play tennis, or they can't sleep right,
or hugging a kid, or they're the wrong temperature, or whatever the weird.
One of my girlfriends, had problems where it was discolored. Those women, they deserve the Carol foot applause.
Right, and not to say everyone wants. I mean, I can also imagine people thinking no, I don't want to be known for that. I don't want to think that. And the point being, it's just that there is
how it's regarded.
Correct. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
It's different. And I guess, I don't know, maybe unfortunately because so many women go through breast cancer.
Right. 1 in 4.
You don't really hear, is it 1 in 4 now? I thought it was 1 in 8.
You're right. It's 1 in 8. It's 1 in 8. It's 1 in 8, everyone.
Okay, it's fine.
Fake news.
But yeah, I guess you don't hear about Carol and her foot often.
That's true.
So
You're
maybe
right.
it's been normalized a little bit more, which it sucks that it has.
Right, because I actually can't think of anyone I know personally who's lost a foot.
Me neither. Poor Carol.
To your point.
Poor Carol. But yeah, no, I just think that unfortunately it just keeps going, and friends of friends and people are getting diagnosed left and right, having to deal with these really tough decisions. And, that's, again, why we're here, letting people know that they're really not alone if you look at those statistics.
Right.
1 in 8.
Right, yeah.
And we're here to create that community.
And then to just sort of follow up, so you've mentioned it's been somewhere between 10 and 15 years.
Yeah, who cares?
Who knows? Yeah. How do you feel now? Because I imagine, you've mentioned the moments of the loss, and I want my husband to grieve, and I need to grieve.
Yeah.
Now, to kind of reflect on being 10 years past, how's that feel?
Well, I had to have them redone because you have to have any boob jobs, so you can get boob jobs. And
you have implants.
I have implants.
Okay.
And I had the implants that were the leaky implants.
Oh.
No, they weren't leaking, but they could have.
They could have leaked. Okay.
And I wanted to get, they're called the gummy bear implants.
Yes.
So if they get punctured, they won't rupture anywhere in my body. So I did do that. But there's always complications that go along with anything and surprises that you don't know about.
Right.
With especially, I think we're going to get into this, but the physicality of mastectomies and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
You don't, for those of people out there listening that have gotten radiation on a mastectomy and all that changes things. I thought I would just breeze past that, and I didn't. And I think we'll get into that, but it changes the skin, it changes the dynamic.
Right.
And, there's just things that I think you can really be prepared for better, because you had said something earlier today about being prepared for operations and things.
Right, yes. Yep, we'll get into that.
The success rate is much greater, and I just feel like I wasn't.
Okay.
And, emotionally it was tough. Back to the emotional,
And then after all of these years, does it feel better? Or do you still...
The emotional?
Yeah, do you still feel a loss? First thing, like you mentioned, the morning had been the sad time for you.
It was a sad time for me. It was. It's not.
Which is kind of great to hear,
It's great to hear, but there is a whole thing. I just, sexually and looking at your body and then, intimate, what we were just talking about, just really kind of getting comfortable in your own skin again.
And it does. It takes time.
Yeah, and there's highs and lows to that, right?
That's fair.
They might look a little better than when you were breastfeeding, if you had kids or not, but they feel different for you, for other people. Just kind of getting secure, and I really do think it's more of a mental thing that you have to really. That's why the journaling really helps, and therapy and friends and all those things.
And I've said before, my patients who are not at peace, I don't with it, and this is just my observation. But those who aren't at peace with the diagnosis or the mastectomy, that they have to have one, they seem to really struggle once they do their reconstruction, because they do their reconstruction and it looks good. They can do really incredible work, but it doesn't look like your breasts. It's going to look different. And having to kind of accept that, I've seen the women who haven't grieved the grief, it's harder for them, because I think it looks to me like they're clinging to the idea that they're just going to fix them so I look like I did before, and I'll be like I was before. And no matter how much fat grafting or revisions, you're never going to feel like you felt before.
You're never going to feel like you felt before. Well, I will say this. I was one of those people who I have friends or people that I've helped that have gone into the mastectomy process and the surgery with all the tools, and they have gone in like a ray of light, and all the positivity that you're mentioning with some of your patients versus the others that were really struggling, and grieving, and why me, and not having anyone to connect to. I was that person. I was the person that went through the first half of all the treatments and everything like that. So I just want people to understand that, I am here now and I am stronger than ever. And even if you are that type that you can't get out of your own head in the beginning, or it takes you a longer time than most people, you're still going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, I wasn't picturing beams of sunlight on my head during the operation.
No wonder this is so struggling.
No wonder I'm fucked, you know? Like, I wasn't, like, picturing someone dumping golden, you know.
You didn't go into surgery singing the, because I'm happy. Yeah. Remember when everyone was doing that? I feel like everyone was posting those for a while.
To be honest with you, it's funny because I will end with this because this is a funny story. My surgeon, we will go nameless, but they wheel me into the room. For some reason, I was still awake before going into the operating room. I don't know if that's normal or not now, whatever. But I remember saying to him, this was for my reconstruction, but it's still a funny story. I remember saying right before he was about to put me out, don't go too big. Oh. And then he got mad at me. I was on the operating table and he said something back to me that was like not bad, but he was like, why don't you just let me do my job? Blah, blah. Like he barked at me. And I remember being like, no, like don't put me under now.
No.
And I went under.
Oh my God. That's actually kind of.
Like he was kind of like that grumpy old man that he has since retired. But like, I'm still fine. Even though that happened. I just want people to know.
Actually, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't sing the happy song. And in fact,
I got yelled at right before
my surgeon.
Right before getting put out.
That's terrible.
And I got scolded. He basically scolded me. And I'm still here and everything's healthy. And
I love that so much.
The surgery was a success. So even when things happen like that, you're not fucked. There you go.
You're going to get through it.
You're going to get through it.
Great.
All right. Well, I guess we've covered some good emotional stuff. I'm sure we'll keep going back and forth into it. And
make sure we're going to do another part talking about how to practically prepare. So make sure you follow so you don't miss that episode.
Yeah. Part 2.
Great.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us today on My Breastie Says. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this with a breastie who needs it. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please don't forget to support our sponsors. We donate a portion of proceeds to charities supporting cancer patients in need. And we welcome questions and/or topic suggestions, so please submit at mybreastiesays.com.
The conversations on My Breastie Says are based on personal experiences and professional insight, but they are not intended to replace your medical advice. Always consult your doctor or licensed healthcare provider for medical guidance specific to your situation. We're here to support, not prescribe.
See you next time.
Bye.